What if Naruto hated the village? Part 1. We start the story a year after Danzo spreaded the rumour about Naruto being the Nine Tails, making everyone hate Naruto. Although, in this story, the hatred was such that you could practically taste the disdain that everyone had for the child. Whenever he went to the shop, just for something to eat, he would be pulled out of the shop and hit over and over again. Hiruzen and Kakashi were always kept in the dark about this, so they couldn't do anything, much like they didn't do anything in the original. Naruto was made to feel like scum, like he didn't even deserve to breathe the same air as the other villagers. One night, when Naruto had found a safe place from the near constant beatings, he found a place to sleep. In his subconscious, he appeared in a dark, wet room with pipes covering the walls and over the ceiling. He hears a deep voice calling to him from up ahead. He cautiously walks forward until he reaches a huge cage with a giant bright orange fox with 9 tails inside. The 9 tails tells Naruto that he took long enough to get here. And Naruto asks who he was, and he tells the kid that he's the reason he's not dead. Naruto must have noticed how quickly he recovers from each beating. Naruto thinks for a moment and says thank you, but why are you here? With the Kyuubi telling Naruto that he had been sealed inside him the day he was born. Naruto then asks why he called him here, with the Kyuubi telling him that he is tired of having to heal Naruto. I mean, if I'm doing that, I may as well be the one getting attacked myself. In a way, I guess he sort of is, because everyone thinks he is the Nine Tails. Naruto's the Nine Tails, but oh well. Naruto asks how he changes that, and the Nine Tails shares some chocolate with him, as he can sense the hatred that Naruto feels for the village, just like he did. Naruto wakes up only an hour after he fell asleep, as someone found him and began to beat him down. But this time, Naruto was stronger, he was faster, and with a wicked smile, he gets his own back. He beats the villager over and over again, releasing his anger on his face until it was nothing but a bloody smear. He thinks to himself that was amazing, I can finally hit back. He returns to the cage after some effort while meditating, and thanks the fox for his help, with the 9 tails telling him that this is only the beginning. He hasn't given his power out like that before, and he's glad that it's being used for a good reason. The 9 tail gives a smile, and is happy to see that Naruto had the same thought with that same wicked smile. When Naruto goes to the academy, he tries to conceal what his end goals are, but everyone could tell that he had some serious anger issues. Everyone treated him like he had always been treated, like shit basically, but they didn't try beating him, as the first person who tried was Sasuke, the most prideful person in the class, and he got his arm broken in less than 3 seconds. After a few years in the academy, Naruto was pretty much a straight A student, as he knows that to finally get his revenge, he needs to become strong and become very smart. And it makes it easier with Kuruma's chakra and Kuruma not interfering with his chakra this time around. The graduations exam come around. Graduation exams, not graduations exam. They're both the same thing, what am I on about? Either way, they come around and everyone passes from the original Naruto, including Naruto himself, which pissed off pretty much everyone in the village apart from the Hokage and Kakashi, who had just come back to the village after being on a very long mission. That's the only way I can explain him being gone so long, and not really caring about Naruto. Naruto goes outside after everyone else, as he was busy having a quick chat with Kuruma about the exam, with Kuruma congratulating Naruto on taking the first step on their path. I don't think I really need to say this, but in case no one's clicked yet, or they haven't watched it, I'd recommend go watching it. The relationship is basically the same as Menma and Kuruma from the Road to Ninja movie. I'd recommend going and watching it because I do really like the movies, even though they're not canon. But neither is this, it's a what if. As he gets outside, he is approached by Mizuka, who tells him that if he can get the scroll of sealing from the Hokage's office, he would be eligible for the Chunin exams. Naruto obviously doesn't buy this, as he is a fuck-ton smarter than he is in the original. But the thought of the scroll intrigued him. So he told Mizuka that he would get it tonight and ran off to wait for nightfall. He breaks into the mansion and finds the scroll. He then copies everything inside his own scroll and puts it back before anyone realizes anyone's even there. He then heads off to the woods and waits for Mizuka, who threw a huge shuriken at Naruto when he arrived. But Naruto had already learned a jutsu in the scroll, the multi-shadow clone jutsu. He uses the jutsu and over 1,000 Narutos using Kuroma's chakra appear, scaring Mizuka as they were all laughing maniacally about what they were about to do. They basically play a sick game of piggy in the middle with Mizuka, punching him through the air to different clones over and over again, until they finally hit him straight up, and the real Naruto jumps up, grabs Mizuki by the face, plants his feet on one of the huge branches, and launches both of them into the ground, splatting Mizuka, covering the surrounding trees in his blood. The next day, he goes to the academy to get put into his team, which, for simplicity's sake, is the original Team 7. I don't really want to mess around with them just yet. Mess around with the teams and that just yet. Kakashi takes ages to turn up like he usually does, which highly annoys all of them. But Sasuke is even more pissed off, as it's just him, the annoying girl, and the guy that broke his arm. Kakashi turns up finally and tells them all to get to the roof. They have their usual chat and all of the goals remain the same, including Naruto wanting to become the Hokage. Please stay with me there, it is a plot reason for his dream being the same. He just leaves out the revenge part. Kakashi tells them all to meet him tomorrow in the training field for a final test. This time, however, before he leaves, Naruto stands up and shakes Kakashi's hand, showing a surprising amount of maturity for a 12-year-old. Kakashi disappears, and they all go home, ready for the exams the next morning. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this series and which series you think I should make a new part for next. It would be a lot easier with the community tab, but sadly YouTube doesn't give you that option until you hit 500 subscribers, which I think is kind of wrong, because if you want to talk to someone without putting it in the end of a video and breaking up a video, that's the only way you can really do it, besides doing Twitter and all that, but I don't go on Twitter. It'll make everything a lot easier if I could do that. Also, Blueprints wanted a dark what if, so here we go. Anyway, subscribe and share if you want, and I'll see you later. Bye.